Welcome back to The Explainer. I am so thrilled you're hanging out with us today. You know, normally we're digging into these massive research papers, right? Or combing through giant data sets. But today we're doing something totally different. We are looking at this incredibly brief, but honestly super profound little digital artifact. It's basically a masterclass in minimalism, just a tiny sliver of digital history. But we're going to unpack it to really get at the anatomy of intention.
Okay, let's jump right in. Think about this for a second. What is the actual first step of any journey? Seriously, is it, physically putting one foot in front of the other? Or is it just that very first spark of a thought? The source material we have today really forces us to confront that exact question because it strips away all the fluff, all the context, all the supporting arguments, just gone. We are left staring at raw, unfiltered purpose. Let's take a look at exactly where this begins.
Section 1. A brand new note. Pure potential.
I mean, every great idea has to start somewhere, right? Usually, it's just a blank digital canvas. And our source text opens exactly like that, in this state of absolute pure potential, with exactly 2 words, new note. Seriously, take a second to think about the sheer weight of those 2 words. It is the literal birth of a document. It tells us undeniably that what we're looking at is 100% fresh. It's a completely untainted environment. The author literally just opened their app, stared down that blinking cursor, and made this conscious choice to create something out of absolutely nothing.
To really get why this matters, let's think about what a note actually is. By definition, a note is a brief record of facts, topics, or thoughts written down as an aid to memory. Basically, it's a tool for preservation. So when the author fires up this new note, they're signaling something super crucial. They're telling us that a highly specific, valuable thought is about to happen, something so important that it absolutely has to be captured, saved, and remembered for the future. It kind of builds this crazy narrative tension, doesn't it? Like, what on earth is about to be recorded here?
Which brings us to Section 2, the automotive objective, functional intention.
So we transition rapidly from that massive, wide-open potential straight into a highly specific mechanical goal. Get this, here are the final 5 words of the entire source material. How to start a car engine. Just look at how beautifully singular that objective is. The author isn't, musing about the history of cars or the physics of combustion. Nope, they are stating a purely functional, totally pragmatic intention. They either want to know, or maybe they're getting ready to write down, the exact methodology required to ignite a car engine.
But here's where it gets wild. Think about the undeniable contrast this creates. On one hand, we have the intent, starting the engine. It's this promise of knowledge, right? It mentally prepares us for a sequence of logical actions. But then, we hit reality, the absence of instruction. The text just stops. Literally, it just ends. There are no steps outlined, no mechanical diagrams, nothing. Absolutely nothing but the stated intention itself.
And that leads us to Section 3, an unresolved conclusion, the fascinating void.
Now, because we strictly rely on our source material in this explainer, we can't just make up the steps that might have come next. We have to confront this abrupt stop head-on. And honestly, it brilliantly illustrates the complete picture. The absolute entirety of our source text is just these 2 simple bullet points. 7 words total. 7. When you look at the whole thing, it really highlights this massive gap between stating an objective and, well, actually executing a method. It's basically a digital monument to a project that was conceptualized, given a title, and then immediately abandoned. So our main takeaway today is this provocative cliffhanger. What actually happens when an instruction manual ends before the instructions even begin? It kind of forces you to ponder that incredibly human space between having a clear intention and actually taking that first real step. So here's my challenge to you. The next time you open up a blank document and type out a title, I want you to remember these 7 words. Ask yourself, are you just going to leave behind an empty intention, or are you going to actually write the instructions? Thanks so much for exploring this wonderfully minimal artifact with me today. Keep learning, keep questioning, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.